Gavin.
Hi, Gavin.
We got it.
How are you? Good to see you too.
You're welcome. You're welcome. If you want me to do the journey, how you doing?
That's weird, okay.
All right.
How you
Yes.
doing? Calls from people saying, hey, quit robocalling me trying to sell me food. I said, you don't do that. I said, well, I got a call. So we've been spending all our day chasing down to see what in the world's going on.
Jeff, how are you doing?
I'm good, How are you?
Good, good. You were on the phone just a minute ago while I was saying, so just make sure you say hello.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
Good, and you?
Doing all right.
You're more efficient.
I'm really a paper person, and I've been trying like crazy to kind of
Yeah.
not do that because I can't keep up with all the paper.
Libby wanted me to get a laptop. I said, I just want a laptop to keep up with. She has a Surface.
Yeah.
Like something like that.
I'm getting in the swing of it a little bit, and it is real handy keeping stuff organized like this.
I've been on a Mac since forever.
Oh, you're one of those people.
I'm one of those. Well, when I lived in Austin, my
Gary
best friend
Johnson.
we got super discounts, and I'm like, okay, why not?
I saw you that way.
Dale Jenkins.
Hi, Craig Stoker.
Jeff Russell.
So professionally, everything is on Windows.
Yeah.
Now when I do,
Huh?
Did you sell your building?
that's been years and years of
Did I say
professional.
Milton?
No, did you sell your building?
If I'm trying to work,
Oh, you did.
this
Is it
past
for
year,
sale?
trying to.
John hasn't listed.
Okay.
There's just things that didn't.
Right, yeah,
wouldn't
okay.
mesh. And
So it's kind of,
Approaches us and wants to do that.
so it's kind of like if somebody comes by,
Yeah.
it makes it unreal.
Samsung makes it.
That's what, kind of what it mean when I sold my business, you know, I had people say, are you interested in selling? I go, well, I don't know, so give me a number. And I give numbers and we go, some, and finally, finally one guy came by and I gave him the number and he goes,
There's
okay.
a stereo and
I guess I'll reserve.
You know, and they, I mean, it actually worked out because it January of
one that takes very few
2017.
calls.
I doing
I
that.
don't use it as a phone.
Good time, good timing.
Yep. So, and I told him I'd stay with him a couple of years. We're supposed to leave through 2019. I'm still there. So anyway, but
How long have you been on the LC board?
31 years.
I knew it was a long time.
And the new chair.
Yeah.
And somebody just resigned.
Tommy Clark
Right.
and Neil Gray.
And Neil Gray. Golly, I met Neil Gray when I was in my 20s.
Really? Mm-hmm.
Who's the older guy that was on the other side, kind of on the other side of the table, up towards the front?
Bruce Shearer.
Bruce Shearer, okay. Tish and I were trying to figure it out. I think we know him, or
Yeah.
couldn't put a name to it.
Yeah, Bruce Shearer. you meet Neil when he's at the bank or when he's a CPA or?
He came to me for a haircut,
Oh, okay.
kind of like Gavin. No, the reason I say that is our first TIRZ board meeting, Gavin and I were introducing ourselves, and he said, I feel like I know you. What do you do? And I said, I was a hairdresser. He said, I don't think that's it.
All right, well, it's 3 o'clock. Should we get started?
Get started if you are, Mr. Chairman.
I am. I feel like I need a script. Officially call the meeting to order.
Call the meeting to order, yes, sir. All right. Well, your first agenda item is the approval of minutes and the packet that was received by the board. The minutes were there. So, Mr. Chairman, if you want to entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
All right, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move that we approve the minutes.
And a
I'll
second.
second.
All in favor? Say
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion passes.
Okay.
All right, very good. Well, TIRZ Board, I want to thank everyone for meeting today. At the request of the chair, we did set this meeting out of our normal scheduled meeting. And I think it's in response to several items that we've had, and we'll discuss more about the master plan as we move forward in the agenda. But our next item that we had was to discuss the TIRZ bylaws. And that was something that we discussed at the last meeting, and I know Mr. Russell had some changes that he was looking to see. And I checked with the city secretary and the city attorney's office, and we did not receive any further comments since that meeting. So what I did do is I had talked with the city attorney's office, Dan in particular, and asked him to please reference the tax code and ensure that our bylaws were in compliance with those. So Dan, if you want to take a second to address the bylaws, and we have a copy of the red lines that were also placed in the agenda for the board as well.
Yeah.
Phil, first, we probably need to, and proper procedure be that I'll make a motion, we bring it off the table for discussion.
So we'll need a.
All right, I have a motion to remove the bylaw.
Yeah, I'll make it, yeah, I'll make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay, sorry.
Thank you, sir. I didn't recall that we had that table. I appreciate that. But I do have the bylaws here that the legal department will review. There are some red line changes that were made.
So what we did is we wanted to go back through and basically change and add to. We want to make sure that we understand that we are under the Texas Open Meetings Act. And so one of the things I did was add to that. You can go down to, let's see, it's on back here, to Article 5, Ethics, as far as Section 2, Discussions. And it should be on page 6 of 8. And what I wanted to do though is just make sure that everyone understood that we are subject to the Texas Open Meetings Act. The reason why is we can issue debt. So that's very important that we know that we're not an advisory board, but we can actually issue debt, we can actually do various things that the city council may or may not like, okay? So that's something that I want us to do as far as ethics and everything. As far as, we'll go back to the front. As far as page 2.
Dan, if I may ask a question, and I apologize, if the board chose to make an action of issuing debt, it would still have to be approved?
It would still have to be approved, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you have, I'm saying, not with the city council would still have to approve it, but we are subject to the Texas Open Meetings Act. In fact, I double checked that. Yeah.
And then this is no way a recommendation we have for the board.
No.
The board chose to issue debt at any time.
Right.
Go to the council for
It would. But everything that we do here right now has to be recorded, it has to be, we have to put up the notice, just as it would a council meeting, okay? So that's where we are. As far as, let's see, Article 2, Board of Directors, what I did is just went through and tried to clean it up a little bit. I want to make sure that that there are 3 members that are not appointed by the city council. So we want to make sure that we have all of that there, and that everything's basically cleaned up. And these other taxing jurisdictions, there are three of those, so we'll make sure everything's cleaned up. And that's basically all I did, is just go through and kind of clean it up.
And I know there was a change to F, I believe or that was added.
Yeah.
There was a question about the appointment of the chair.
Right.
What I do want to make sure of is later in Article 3, Section 2, if there's a direction that the chairman shall be appointed by the board of directors. I just want to make sure there's not a conflict with the original, because the tax code does say the board recommends to the council.
Right.
And I just want to make sure this line does not interfere with that.
Yeah.
It says the chairman shall be appointed by the board of directors.
That's right, and then it's confirmed by city council, my understanding is.
Right, but that's,
It says that in section, paragraph F.
so the paragraph, right.
Yeah.
So we might need to make those.
Okay.
I just want to make sure they,
Yeah, well, that's what I'm here for. So y'all tell me what you want, and I'll go back and do it, and I'll have it ready for the next time.
I think then, the chairman shall be appointed by the board of directors and ratified by the city council.
Yeah.
That would just make those two things agree.
Okay. Yeah, and I've got, of course, on F, I've got the chairman's selection must then be ratified by the other.
I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
there's not.
And then you wanna go to Article 3, Section 2, chairman shall be appointed by board of directors and ratified. You wanna add that way?
So, Dan, for drafting purposes, can we just reference that to that section, section F? And we don't have to actually go redraft the whole thing if we're referencing F. That seems simple to me, I don't know if that's.
Well, I mean, I like to come a long way harder and make it. So I'll just throw it in here. I'll do that. And I'll take care of that. I'll have that ready for next time.
For clarifying purposes on two provisions, Article 2, Section 6, that's on page 4, under attendance.
Yeah.
And Philip, I apologize, I didn't send y'all the red line on this, but there's just a couple of things that were of concern, and maybe I've lawyerized this too much, right, which we have a tendency to do, but this provision talks about attendance, but it also has essentially a replacement or removal provision. However, in this entire document, there's no removal provision. There's also no
Yeah,
provision.
I recognize that as well. I was like, well, we'll figure that out when we get there.
And I believe that was a concern that was addressed by Mr. Russell, if I recall, at the last meeting. The board, from my understanding, and Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, does not have the ability to appoint someone in there. They vacate their seat, you would have to go back to the council.
Right.
An action entity to replace that.
That's correct.
Right, but, and I'd give this, as an example, if, a council member appointed someone and then they removed him, this doesn't actually provide for any removal procedures, any notice or anything like that.
And my understanding is it doesn't even really have a time, how many meetings do you miss?
Right,
And that's what I was like, well.
I think in the charter, there's some provisions, I don't know if
Yeah.
you remember, if we, basically just take those and put those in here, and I don't know if that needs to be approved by us or not, but.
Well, I mean, I would much, that's why I'm here, I would much rather for y'all to decide than for me to throw something in there and then we come back and be like, you idiot, who didn't tell you to do that, you know?
I'm big on not reinventing the wheel if we don't
Yeah.
have to. Being creative, but not reinventing the
Right,
wheel.
yeah.
So we already have a standard for remove. I believe we should probably just follow that.
Okay. Okay, yeah, any other questions?
I would direct for another clarifying part on, going back to what you referenced, Article 5, Section 2.
Okay.
So there's key significant language in this that I think that has to be clarified, right? When you look at line 1, the key significant language, I'm sorry, not line 1, line 2, where it talks about attempting to influence.
Okay.
I think that is the key significant language. For me, the distinction,
Are you on section two? Where are you?
discussions, I'm sorry, Article 5, Section 2 discussions.
Okay, go ahead.
The distinguishing language, or what I would question, what would be distinguishing would be if Craig and I just had a conversation, right, regarding this versus and it's attempt to get a better understanding of what's before us versus attempting to influence. And I think the attempting to influence is a key significant language.
My understanding reading out of the Open Meetings Act is that this pertains to a third party. If we were visiting with Kimley Horn, we could have that conversation and say, hey, here's what we know.
That's correct.
But it does not include members.
No, just as long as there's not more than two of you.
Correct.
At any one time.
But I believe in the Open Meetings language, that pertains to, deals with vendors.
Right,
And
and that's my understanding. I think it's wording.
Okay.
Right, and I think it's more of just of the wording of it. I understand what the intent is, but I think the wording of it.
Does that language too preclude us, for let's say that we've got, Icon Sports Bar, and, you know, they submitted, they want something, and so we go down and have lunch at Icon Sports Bar, and we talk with the owners about it, so we get a better understanding. I mean, would that language preclude us doing that type of?
It would, if there's more than two of you, yes. I mean, I wouldn't suggest you all go down there and have a.
So
Individually, no.
So
No, you can't, I was gonna tell you, you gotta stay away from quorum. Once you get quorum. Yeah.
Can we distinguish that in here?
Yeah.
Because that's my understanding of open records, but
Yeah.
again, I'm an attorney, right? If a layperson is on this board, are they gonna interpret it that way? And then just, this for sure is nitpicking that the third line, which says all such discussions.
Okay.
You know, my first interpretation is, what is such discussions?
Right.
And so if we can clarify that.
All discussions, yeah, okay. We can do that, yeah. If you want to, think of anything else, email.
Okay.
I mean, just, you know, we'll see if we can distinguish this and see if we can come up with something.
Well, you said two, why two? That's not a quorum. Five's a quorum.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm talking about, he said only two of us could be a,
Yeah, I would prefer more, I'm very.
okay, I see
Two
what you're
conservative,
saying.
probably. I would much rather only two. I don't want you all with three, then four, next week you got five, and you're seven, and you're like, uh-oh. You know, I would much rather, I'm being very conservative because having been served on such boards, it's very easy for things to crop up.
Okay.
You know, for us all to start getting together and forget, ooh, we're all the same place. You know, so I would much rather be safe than sorry. We don't want any news articles about the TIRZ board. Okay? So that's just me telling you, because you need five, but you need four to sit out, and I'm just saying, as a rule of thumb, I need two. That's just me. That's my advice. You know, now, if the other wants to call Jeff, and then Jeff calls Craig, that's fine, but just don't get into no walking war, okay? Yeah, but it's okay for two to discuss it, but just no more, you know, at a time. Okay?
Mr. Chair, what I would suggest is that we have some changes that are, been requested that we get tabled, give, our legal department an opportunity to update this, we'll send that out, through the email at the next meeting, and then we can request that be pulled off the table for vote, and of course, if there are any other changes that the board sees, email us, just let us know.
Copy Philip. Y'all go get that, cause
I'll make a motion we table these. If there are any comments or discussions, just send them to the city staff and they can implement those and then.
we'll take care of it.
Okay. Got a motion, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Dan. Okay, members of the board, the next presentation we have is regarding the potential downtown master plan. During the last meeting we had as a board, there was discussion to go back and visit with Kimley Moore to see if we could pare down the plan. There was concerns not only by the TIRZ board, but also by the council on the time frame that the plan was going to take, and also the costs that were associated with it. So staff did go back, we visited with Kimley Moore. We asked them what it would look like for us to reduce that scope, and they have been able to reduce their scope, and they'll go over that process, but they've also been able to reduce the price of the master plan. So with that, I'll turn it over to Brad with Kimley Moore. He has a presentation for the board regarding the potential new plan, and he also has comments on the original plan as well, and how the two plans will differ and what the outcome will be for those. So with that, I'll turn it over to Brad with Kimley Moore.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you, board members and chair, for having me again, or having us again. You met Yvonne last time. We wish he could be here, but he really loves your downtown and wants to come explore. So, I'm going to walk you through sort of the new approach, the fresh approach that we've dialogued with staff. And at the end, I'll have a comparison slide between the two, so you won't have to guess what the difference is between the elements. Again, just to reintroduce the team we have on board, myself and Kelsey were part of the 2016 Downtown Master Plan, so there's not a lot of catch-up to do. We're just going to be more seeing what you did the last 5 years and then run with it. So there's not a lot of pickup that we need to do or reanalysis of a lot of things. The current downtown plan was adopted in 2016, as you are aware, and covered a lot of different things, big movements in terms of county, different types of housing implemented. We would revisit some of those things and revalidate kind of where we want to go in terms of the implementation strategy as part of this new process, either direction to go. It's not to revisit the vision and redo the vision, but it's really to just validate with the citizens whether it still makes sense, make sure that we're on the right track, and calibrate as needed to give you a new economic plan for downtown. Some of the improvements you've already been doing are amazing. Driving down Grant, I don't get to get out here that often, but 5 years ago, Grant did not look like it does today. The trees were windblown from truck speeds, and half the businesses were boarded up. And today you've got businesses, restaurants, everything are open on Grant. We've got stuff in the back streets that are open up. The Ector's been revitalized. Torchy's Tacos is probably the most beautiful Torchy's I've ever seen. So we know that the design standards are working. We know that y'all are focused on people and places and placemaking. The convention hotel is beautiful. I'm glad we were able to keep that momentum going after the downtown plan with the developer and realize that that's success with y'all. So that's a fun process, and it's fun to come back and see how much you have done. Sometimes it feels like it's not enough, but you've made a lot of progress in 5 years, considering probably 2 oil and gas crashes and COVID. You've actually come a really long way. So just be proud of what you do have. We can move on from there, right? One of the big things I think is urban attraction and living. We've got a lot of programming. We just want to keep building on that. Make sure that we're taking advantage of convention hotel. It is booming today. I drove by and there's all kinds of cars outside, people walking in and out. So you know things are picking back up when a hotel, convention center space is starting to get that kind of activity. So it's really good. Employment's up, wages are up, things are looking good for y'all. Your demographics are probably a bit younger than they were when we did it 5 years ago. You do have 40% of your population is in that millennial and younger age brackets, and so paying attention to what their needs are is going to be really important, especially when it comes to trying to get them to live in downtown, which they want to generally. Those that are having kids will still vie for a place close to downtown, maybe not necessarily an apartment, but still be close to the activity so they can be a part of the culture. Culture and authenticity are really what folks are looking for in the new economy. You've got great job sector growth. What are some of the questions we'll ask? What are the options for new market sectors that you should be exploring? What are some things that are more incubator stage that you can take advantage of and start to fill some of those vacant spaces? So moving forward, we've adapted our original proposal to look at an abbreviated timeline, not necessarily an abbreviated level of work. So what we will still be keeping the plan review and validation, making sure we're doing a kickoff with staff, kickoff with a number of constituents. We'll start doing some workshop planning, compilate that existing conditions report, and produce a memo. So it's a very quick process. It's less than a month. It's just us getting in, making sure everything's looking all right from the numbers on our perspective, and making sure staff knows what our game plan is for the engagement process. As we go into engagement, there's one thing we've learned through COVID is that we are very resilient people. We'll still participate even in a virtual environment, but our planning process was not. And so we had to revamp how we actually engage people. So we've built on subscriptions of Social Pinpoint, which is a interactive mapping program that we can implement very inexpensively, and through this process it's actually included in the price of the new assessment. And what it does is it creates an opportunity for folks to join in at their leisure, on their time, to give us comments and feedback in a map exercise. So what we do normally in a 2-hour window with folks during an on-site workshop, we can now extend over a month or two and let folks do that on the weekend when their kids are asleep, when they're back from work, and make sure that they're giving us insightful information. We also tie in surveys. It becomes basically a project website in effect. And so we can post news, we can provide links to any virtual meetings that we have. So it becomes a hub that we control, but that staff at the city would redirect from the city website to this program. That would be coupled with our other two, traditional and in-person engagement would still be a big part of the process. We would want to make sure that we're still having real meetings with stakeholders, landowners, business owners, make sure that we're still in person on their time. And then mailers, traditional more than mailers, making sure people are aware of what's around, putting notes in kids' backpacks, sending home. We're doing all kinds of stuff now to get the word out. In another project we're doing, we have a large homelessness population, so we're creating self-care kits, and they have to fill out a survey to get a self-care kit. So we're trying to be inventive and creative about how we're engaging the people that we're trying to talk to. Here's a photo of me and Gloria from 6 years ago. You can tell I've had a little bit of stress since then. There's a lot later. So the actual workshop, we would look at being here full-time for 3 days with our whole team. So all 5 of those folks in photos would be on-site, doing meetings with stakeholders, meeting with staff, doing walking tours to make sure we're tracking where we're at. And we would go through considerable discussions about catalytic projects and what are those new catalytic projects beyond the convention hotel that the downtown plan currently talks about. We would have engagement with developers and builders, engagement interviews, stakeholder interviews, and we would go through real strategies and outline those in real time over 3 days. So that way we would include a community presentation at the end to allow folks to attend. Ideally, that will also be displayed virtually, so that way we can capture as many folks, record it, put it on the website, make sure folks are getting to see that and give us feedback. And then we would still go through the same process of updating the actual master plan, make sure some of the key moments are updated, and then applying any type of addendum that we need to for new improvements or new moments. And then again, the adoption and implementation would still continue forward and help staff through that process. So the timeline, we're adjusting to 6 months. We would do our kickoff virtually instead of in person. We would be able to do that in July. And then we would do updates throughout the process with the project website, virtual council briefings, and we would be here where it's essential for a milestone to be in person. Definitely the 3-day workshop, we would be in person 100% of the time. But we're really trying to make sure that we're putting this out and making it as transparent as possible, because that will help build traction for developers and investors. So between the two processes, a reduction in project costs, a reduction in time frame. Really, the reduction in cost is mostly attributed to the reduction in time frame. So it's 6 less months of me administering and project managing it, 6 months less invoices and phone calls and checking calls and all those other things that we normally do on a monthly and bi-weekly basis. So that's where a lot of that project cost comes down. We are trying to really hone in the engagement to 3 days, so we're more efficient with travel costs as well. We're actually able to bring the whole team in instead of just select few. So we're actually making it a more immersive workshop process. And then we're making sure that we're not doing as many in-person meetings, all in an effort to reduce the amount of expenses of travel. And that was really the main bulk of project costs. The work, the content, what's reported out is going to be the same. It's just a shorter time frame. I can take any questions you may have. I know it was a lot of information.
Is there, one of the primary concerns that I think I have is just in the time frame, and I appreciate the word 12 to 6 because that's important. We kind of talked about this at the last year's meeting, but we've just got a number of businesses that are going to be opening in the next 6 months, if not sooner. I think Icon wants to do it quicker. We'll see if they can get there. Have an aggressive deal, but within the planning phase, the primary concern that I have being a downtown version is that of parking.
Mm-hmm.
Things, and as we expand these things like the sports bar and things like that, they take quite a lot of parking, particularly at certain times of the day in the evening and all that. As we go through this 6-month process, can we look at it in a way so that we have some kind of very near-term things that we need to,
Mm-hmm.
we need to accomplish?
Yeah.
We kind of have a 90-day plan, and then we have a 180-day plan. So that
Real short term.
Yeah. So that we make sure that we're going to be prepared for what we hope will happen with these new venues coming in.
And hopefully we're able to meet with some of those, the leadership in those new ventures that are coming into town, so that way we can understand their real time frames and what their needs are in order to open and be successful. So that we can hone in on what those 90, 120, 180 days look like. But yes, all of our implementation strategies today, we've learned that they have to be nimble and incremental. And so the short term is really what does the next 2 years look like? What's your checklist for accomplishing? And then what is that midterm, long term? So, but we make sure that the short term is feeding into the midterm and feeding into the long term. That way, in 5 years, when you do another update, you can move the midterm to short term, and you move the long term to midterm, and figure out what the next long term is. So it's supposed to be an evolving plan in origination.
Well, I think that was another thing we had asked about, or getting together a list of immediate action items we could do in the interim while this is going on. So I think we could still work on that.
And we would likely have a lot of those near-term elements drafted out after the workshop, within 3 days of the workshop. That's usually a lot of it's discussion, dialogue, but we're on whiteboards, we're on poster boards, just trying to nail it down. What goes next? What comes after that? We come at it from Jeff Whitaker, my partner at the Fourth Office, is in the capital improvements project world. I'm in more of the development and incremental development world. And so the two of us together start to marry the context. So street improvements, sidewalk improvements, parking improvements with what do developers need, what do they need to be successful, what does business incubators need. And so we come at it from both sides.
Is the reduction in cost just billing time? Is that essentially what the comparison?
Effectively, we've streamlined some of the in-person meetings to more virtual, so that way it's more just a couple hours versus us driving 5 hours in, 5 hours out to do the meeting. And then it's really just the cost of time for going an additional 6 months. There's just some general project management fees that, we're cutting 6 months of bi-weekly check-ins, which are usually a half hour to an hour. So by us reducing our overall cost to the project, we're able to lower the price.
Does the reduction in time, how does that affect the reduction, or let me really strike that, let me say this, the reduction in time, how does that affect the product that comes out?
The product will not have to change. We're reframing the process from being an overhaul to the downtown plan, rewriting everything to really what's essential to be updated, what can stay the same, and then making sure that you have a new structure for your implementation strategy. So I don't think, in my mind, I wouldn't sacrifice the quality of work for the sake of time. It's more about how fast are we thinking about it and how fast are we turning it out. So it just demands more attention from my team up front versus letting them space out and think about it incrementally. So we just put more priority on this project versus others.
So you don't see that as a hindrance, that we're rushing it?
It's not rushing. It was we had made an assumption that 10 to 12 months would be appropriate. It's an industry standard for a downtown plan, and that's how we approached it at the beginning. But we've had the input from council and discussions with staff and y'all, and we feel that what we're about to implement would only take 6 months.
Good. I don't know exactly how to ask this question, but the past plan we had a lot of different suggestions, do this, do that, those type of things. How do you take those things? Because some of those things that were suggested we don't need to do anymore. There's other things that were not suggested that we need to emphasize, parkings and things like that. So how do you take, I guess my question, how do you take the initial plan and use it or don't use it to move into this plan?
We will use it. We're not going to start from scratch. I can tell you that. We will retire the things we've already done. You don't need to do another convention hotel. Moving the county offices is probably off the table. So we're gonna spend the 3 days hunting down what are the new catalytic projects you should be focusing on. What do you do next? What are some housing options that can start to catalyze, and where would they best be located? It's more of a directive to staff of where should your economic development be focused now that you've already accomplished some cool stuff around the convention center. I mean, the Actor Theater being renovated when we wrote that plan was way in the future. I mean, y'all have already done that. So there's a lot of things that just need to be removed from the plan because you've already done it. And so it's not starting from scratch, it's just what's the next round.
It's a new scratch.
It's a new scratch.
So then some of the things that y'all will determine that maybe not been in the initial plan. So you can take, for example, some things that have been done, those are taken out. Some things that were in the initial plan that we don't want to do now. So, and I guess my question is that you able to use the things that have been done, things that don't need to be done, and to move them forward to what needs to be done in the future.
Yeah, and some of the things that may have been in near-term strategy might be on the back burner now.
Right.
And so we have those in long-term strategy, figure out what the new ones is. Or maybe there's a way to implement those long-term strategies in the short term. So if you want to create a central plaza with food court program, then maybe you start with a food truck park situation, but with the realization that that's going to go away eventually because the real stuff is coming in the future. It's just what is temporary versus what is long-term. And making sure that we have a roadmap for you to actually get there.
Will this look at impediments to, you mentioned a food truck park. Well, there was an old regulation that you had to have a commissary kitchen, and that kept some of the people out of being in the food truck business, and then they changed that, and then they changed that. And so, is there a way to identify, that's just one example, is there a way to identify, I just call them impediments, like roadblocks to coming in and like.
If that, in the instance that is a topic that people want to move forward on, our stakeholder meetings would address those. We would organize those meetings with the professionals or the local landowners that are trying to implement those kinds of programs and what's been holding them up. And so we would get real live feedback from folks about what are the obstacles, and then we go research those elements on how to resolve them. Versus doing a whole clean sweep of all your rules and regulations, we'd rather avoid that process and hone in on what's holding you up from implementing what you need to do and what you want to do. At the time when we did the downtown plan, we did a lot of research on what in the fire code is inhibiting folks from renovating historic buildings. And it came down to the type of meter that had to be installed to get the right fire sprinkler in, the right fire sprinkler system that had to be installed based on the current on-the-books fire code. So we were trying to figure, you were saying, well, there's an alternative for historic buildings. You've got this program, so let's make sure that gets in your books. So that lessons learned from 2016, that's what we went through, and hopefully that's helped y'all. As we explore more, I'm sure I'll find some more issues that we didn't catch. We'll be able to fix those too.
So I understand that this is a kind of global concept of the downtown project, correct? Is where you're coming in. And that's more private capital investment, developers, multifamily housing, restaurants.
The goal would be to help visualize where those investments could be made upfront to help catalyze development, additional development. We do focus on what is enough public investment from y'all's side, from the public improvements that will catalyze that private development.
Well, that's what I was getting at. So are you going to make recommendations for our board of projects we can do to help catalyze
Absolutely.
some of this investment?
Absolutely. And we're going to take feedback from those projects that were deemed to be appropriate in 2016 for public improvements. We're going to ask folks, does this make sense anymore? You know, do we need to do full block pedestrian plaza programming? Probably not. Y'all are doing great with what you have today. And with the curb and gutter, it's working. People are crossing the street. Things are fine. But I just want to see how do those public improvements also affect parking issues in downtown. And that's why I have Jeff Whitaker on the team. He also does parking plans for cities. And he's been working with y'all's city engineering team for a long time on just street designs and grant and those improvements and things like that. So he's very aware of your situations. And so we'll be able to just roll right into the recommendations, do some opportunities for maybe shared parking lots or on-street parking improvements to help expand some of those parking options.
So if we're looking at this and you're saying we get the exact same thing for less money and less time, why would we want to?
It's also to reapproach council in a meaningful way that you're right, we looked at it, hey, we're able to cut time, we're able to improve the cost, and we're going to be creating a great plan out of this that will still give us a roadmap for what we need as a board.
Well, I mean, we've.
It still gets the same product.
Yeah.
Let me ask a question. In your planning, as we go through this, do y'all have, would y'all have suggestions of how you, some of these investments, how you financially can do some of these things? I mean, for example, you talk about sharing parking. I mean, I know you go park downtown Dallas and they charge you $10 an hour, $50. So I mean, things like that, and there's certain, you go to certain events that don't charge you, those type. So I mean, do y'all have some analysis and things like that, because as we do improvements, we have to have a buy-in from the community as well. But also, you don't want to discourage them from coming down and participating. So I just think that a lot of times when if you can share costs, I think it gives more of a buy-in to folks. So.
Absolutely, and that's sort of the sausage making process of getting public improvements done. And sometimes it's through a cost share program. Sometimes it's a fee in lieu, so you let the developers go ahead, but they're going to pay ahead of time for some of the public infrastructure that they're technically responsible for. That way you can do one complete overhaul at the same time. Or you do it all and then assess them later. But there's different ways to do it. I think what we would try to explore are different ways to get grant funding and get some of those other programs. But I don't want to holistically look at state and federal funding to help you out. My goal is to make you as self-sufficient as possible, to make sure that what you're doing is actually returning real value, so that your property taxes are growing, and then your TIF budget is growing, and then you're able to actually make a real difference. Because if we can find a signature project that returns over 8 to 10 years, 2 or 3 times what you put into it, that means you're putting that money into other improvements in that meantime. And I've seen it time and time again with the projects that I've worked on over the last 15 years, where you either done it right or you done it wrong. There's a clear picture, a clear left turn that they should have made and didn't. And so we're taking those lessons learned and bringing them to y'all.
Can you also give us some guidance through this process? You know, I know Craig and I were talking yesterday, but, you know, we've got quite a few cooks stirring the pot right now in downtown. We've got this board, we've got downtown Destiny, we've got Discovery, we've got ODC involved downtown. I mean, I think we also need to look at, you know, how do we kind of reorganize the structures, so that we're really, you know, all on the same page. It seems like sometimes we're on the same page, sometimes we're kind of working at odds with each other, sometimes we just don't know what anybody else is doing.
It's not unique what you're going through. A lot of towns, especially with historic downtowns, struggle with a lot of folks having the same mission, but a different mechanism for doing that. And so there is a level of governance that we'll have to examine, and we've been helping folks, small towns and cities to do that, to reorganize their nonprofits so they're more effective. I usually have folks step into that have been in that world, the nonprofit world, to help expedite the thought process, the budgeting, the programming, making sure we're all working together. I do know that there has to be a torchbearer that's sort of the group that everyone looks to, and then everyone else feeds into that program. So Discover Odessa should actually be working in conjunction with whatever programming Downtown Odessa is actually doing. And both should be benefiting from the proceeds of what's happening in either direction. So it's not just enough to say your program has to be our program. It's also your program is our program, and you're going to benefit from our upside. So that everyone's getting the right funding, everyone's getting the right programming. Money talks, especially with nonprofits. And it's really the success of a great downtown comes in partnership between municipal, private, and nonprofit. If those three are working together, it's a full investment of programs that work cohesively together. Sometimes we just need a strategy that puts us in that direction. So as we look at implementation strategies, we also are outlining who are the key partners that help you achieve those, and what is their role. I've done it a couple times. So.
Anybody else have any questions?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad, for that. Well, Mr. Chair, if you'd like to consider this or have further discussion with the board, and if the board so wishes, they can make a recommendation to council via vote if you want to take this back, so that would be up to your decision at this point.
So I remember we tabled the discussion last time on the comprehensive approach. So now we need to discuss condensed approach.
Yes, sir.
So I think we've done that. Does anybody else have any questions about the two? So do we need to vote on what we're...
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, if we could have a motion
right.
Do I have a motion to remove from the table the discussion on the downtown master plan update?
Well, a more parliamentary inquiry. There was a discussion about a comprehensive approach and a comprehensive discussion, and then the discussion we're having today. Are those two separate and distinct things, or is that one and the same?
I believe what we discussed at the last meeting was an overall master plan that we had, so I think to make any further discussion or motion at this point, we have to remove from the table and then entertain any type of motions that may be made at that point. So I think step one would be removed from the table, and then the motion to discuss either, or to move forward with either the comprehensive or condensed approach if one of those is chosen.
Right, and I'm not, oh, okay, I think that answers the question.
I'll make a motion, we remove from the table.
No, second.
I'll second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, so that's off the table. Now we discuss what we want to take back to council or what we want to do next.
If you so choose to, what's your next?
Okay.
Well, Craig, I think that, you know, the comprehensive approach is basically out, because that's what we sent to the council before that was rejected. So I think our discussion is, are we satisfied with the condensed approach, or is that not what we want to do? I think that's where the discussion is.
Okay. Well, I think, correct, we were sent back to figure out what to do next, and the comprehensive plan, I kind of agree based on your recommendations and kind of moving forward with it. If there is no change to the outcome, why do we want to extend it out and spend more money? Okay. So we need to,
I'd make a motion that we move forward with the $85,000 revised Kinley Horn and take that to city council for approval.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Motion passes.
That concludes the agenda we have, so if you'd like to adjourn, with the vote as well.
Have a motion to adjourn? First of all, I want to say thank you all for being here and making time on this short notice. And we have already spent a month on this, and I'm with council, I'm ready to take some action and go, so thank you. I'll take a motion.
I move we adjourn.